Welcome to another episode of Chaotic Harmony, episode 135. I am one of your hosts today, Jonathan Seligman, and today is a special day. I am joined by a lot of people today. I'm joined by the founder, Crystal Pridmore. Hello, Crystal.
What's up? Hi, John.
Good to see you. We're also joined by the classy nerd himself, Genesis Santos.
Yo.
That was yours, right? Did I get that right? Yeah, that's yours. Next off, the one who brings the fun, Jamie John.
You got it.
Yeah. And also the sensible one, Jasmine Mah.
Hey.
Mr. Producer himself, Marc Keehmer.
Hello.
And the one with a million faces, Sasha Stone.
Hello.
Today is a special day because today is the first time we've ever had the entire chaotic, harmonious team on an episode, especially with a new cast, which is awesome. Before we begin, by the way, the reason why we're doing this is because we're going to be talking about AOSA Conference 2025. But I'd be remiss if I did not ask this question. We just had Thanksgiving break. If your Thanksgiving break was an animal, what would it be? Just to make this quick. Crystal, how was your Thanksgiving break? Animal form.
Thanksgiving break was an elephant. It took up a lot of room and it moved a little slowly.
Ooh, fancy and terrible. Fine. Genesis, how about you?
Mine was a bear because it was like just chilling, like hibernating. It was nice.
Nice. ms.fun.jun.
I don't know. It was so all over the place. Skip me.
Skip you? Ah,
yeah.
Sad face. I'll get back to you. Jasmine, how about you? Animal, Thanksgiving.
I felt like a pigeon. I was going from one house to the next, and then bringing stuff from one to another.
Nice. Marc, how about you?
Mine would have to be a Snorlax because I ate a bunch and fell asleep.
Nice. Sasha?
I was gonna say I was Slack King, like Pokemon Slack King.
Yeah.
It just lays there and it's like,
Man, I forgot all of the other Pokemon past 150, so
okay.
My bad.
Hold on,
but
I got you.
Appreciate it. And I guess for me, sticking with the Pokemon theme, I guess I was a Psyduck. I had no clue what was going on. Things were just like slow. I was confused, terrified, all that stuff. But this is not Thanksgiving Harmony. This is Chaotic Harmony, the show where we talk about the joys, struggles, and all things adjacent to elementary music. Last week, we had a wonderful episode where Jasmine and I talked with Frank LaGuardia and Aiko Sakazaki. All of us were our different ORF board leaders in different areas of California. And we talked about what's happening in our chapters and what we're doing in 2025 to keep our chapters alive. Also, it's a little bit of an insider baseball situation because we talk a lot about what it means to be an ORF board member, but just worth checking out. So do check that episode. Next week is our last official podcast episode of 2025. It's our winter wrap up, but it'll be a unique one. So do check that out when it comes out next week. And also, if you have any questions to send to us during that last episode, you can always email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com. That said, so we are talking today about AOSA Conference 2025. Something I love about these conferences is that we all go for different reasons, especially as we get through our careers in different ways. So going from least attended to most attended, I'll start with you, Jasmine. Jasmine, this is your second one, right?
Yeah, it is my second one.
Okay. What were you hoping to get out of conference? Why did you go to conference?
I think part of it was just like a recharge. Like I think the fall burnout really hit me this year, and just to see a lot of people I know and feel really close to but don't usually have the opportunity to see them, like that was my chance to do so. But I also had my induction mentee there, so they've been very curious about ORF and they had a lot of questions because they don't have their levels yet. The most they've gone to is a few workshops with AOSA. So for them to go to like Dane.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So for him to go and like experience a lot of different presentations on ORF and really see and have those conversations of like, why do you think they were doing that? Or how could I bring this to my classroom? Or I really enjoyed this. So it was very interesting to like have to break it down really fast, because that was me last year where I was like, this is so much knowledge that my brain just went smooth. Yeah.
That's pretty cool that, like, despite the fact that this is your second ORF conference, you still were able to bring in someone else. Like, that's wild. It's just a testimony to like how involved you have been since you first started like a month ago, right? You started teaching a month ago, is that right?
Sorry, what?
I'm being facetious. My bad.
Wait, did I?
I was like, wow.
That landed
Did
so
your
strong.
brain go smooth?
My brain is
Genesis.
smooth.
Genesis, how about you? Like, this is your second one, is that correct?
Yes, this is my second one. My first one was all the way back in Salt Lake City.
When I met you?
That's where I met John for the first time. And it was different for me this time around. The first time around, I was like very active, super like jumping into every single session that I did, like wholehearted, whole-bodied. This year, my body said no. I guess it's because, the time difference. I'm a much older person but nonetheless, like observing this year and watching and looking at processes again really was comforting, especially because I am in a district where there's only a few of us who are in this approach. And a lot of us come from different backgrounds. Like whether we have a Kodai friend, we have an MLT friend, we have people, who were in in secondary and switched down to elementary. So a lot of different perspectives. And as much as I love the different perspectives, it was nice to have some reassurance of seeing people who are also in this with me, who not only just practice this, but are trying to find ways to push it forward, and to see in those sessions, those friends bring them to fruition, getting ideas, seeing their takes on what is possible was really refreshing. It's been a while since I've seen that.
That's cool. Do you feel like those were met?
For the most part, I would say, like, if I were to do like, the check off, yes. But at the same time, there were some things that also left me questioning a little bit, which is always a good thing, because, you're putting things against the things you believe in. And then you're also thinking about, I like their way, but here's how, when I bring this to my students, I'm going to do it this way. I think we feel more comfortable, right? Which is the open thing, right? When you see things and you apply your own spin, that's how things continue to progress. So that's where my mindset's at.
Thank you for sharing, Janice. Appreciate that. Mark, you're in a unique situation. So you are, as we mentioned earlier, like all things adjacent, you are a part of that because you're not in the elementary school classroom necessarily, but you still are involved with music education.
Right.
You went to conference. Why?
I did. I am one of those things.
To see all of us.
Basically, yes. Actually,
Basically.
I really wanted to see my friends. I wanted to be in an environment where people are hungry to learn, where people are not afraid to be, to jump in and do the thing. And I think being in higher education, there is much less silliness to doing the thing. And so getting a chance to be in rooms where people don't have their shoes on, where we're moving or writhing or doing whatever it is that we do, in a space where it is just total freedom to engage in the curriculum as you see fit is really refreshing. And then also, I never want to lose the pulse as to what is good teaching. Like, I know I've been out of the classroom for quite a while now, but I still have the chance to teach. And even though it's private lessons and group classes that look a little bit different, I have a hunger and a desire to continue to learn. And getting to do that alongside some of the people that I hold most dear into my heart is, an absolute, like, why wouldn't I want to do that? And plus it was in Kentucky, which is right down the road. So I jumped in the car, took the long and winding road down there, and got to hang out with you all. It was great.
Brought us snacks from Trader Joe's.
Sure did. Got that Trader Joe's hookup.
And I accidentally
No
stole
place better.
ibuprofen. So
that's fine.
You might have some randomly just show up this week.
I feel like we all stole
It
something
was nice to
from
have a
Mark.
car.
It was.
We
Got to
all
play
stole
Joker.
something from Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have an XLR cable. Yeah. Also, I think Crystal and I mentioned this before on the podcast. It is always weird to conceive how big California and also how more compact the states in different areas are. Like when you mentioned you were driving down south from Indianapolis to Lexington, it's like, wait, that's a state over. How do you do that? And it's like, what 3 hours?
Yeah, it was about 3 hours.
That's wild.
So that's like us driving to LA.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Palm Springs,
Depending on traffic.
On a good day.
Exactly.
On a good day.
Fresno.
Six Flags.
The Fresno for SAC.
Yeah.
No, it's like going to, again, depending on traffic, from like Sacramento over to San Francisco.
Oh.
Because traffic can be really bad.
Oof.
Yeah,
To
if the
Reno?
traffic is really bad, it's 3 hours. But like going
Maybe 2.5.
to further, like 2.5. If you go down to Monterey or Santa Cruz, that's more like 3 hours.
True.
Yeah, there we go.
So needless to say, California does not understand how anything works.
No.
And I think we
No,
all
we don't.
established that Kentucky hates us all. Whenever we went to a different area, we were just so loud. And I do apologize to any of the locals if we disturbed you with our Californianess.
Yeah, they really hated us because I was trying to find a place to eat. Every place was closed when we arrived from the airport. I was like, I'm just hungry. It's closed.
They knew what
Finally
was up.
found a place.
But there is a drive-through Little Caesars, which
And it is fire. It is so good, you guys. It's fantastic. Would recommend.
I think
One of us went.
one of the things I loved about, I'll get to more in depth, but I think we all can agree, something that we love and about conference is all of us coming together. It is, who said, was it Genesis? Was it Jasmine? It was such a recharge. Is it you, Jasmine? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a definite recharge to be with everybody. So by the way, I know I've said this before. I love you all you six. So
I love you.
it was
The six,
it was
seven
really
of
great
us?
to be on. Moving on.
Why does Mark get the heart?
Is that a Discord thing?
Nah, dude, it's my webcam. Get that new Mac.
Oh.
We are not sponsored by Apple, but we could be.
Audio listeners, you should go jump on that YouTube. Jumping over to, so speaking of jumping, Sasha, this was also your second ORF conference. Is that correct? Or third? Oh, third. We're into threes. Okay, which ones have you been to before?
I went to Salt Lake City and I went to Kansas City.
That's right.
Wait,
So,
yeah? Kansas
that's
City?
right. Mhm.
Which was not Kansas.
Yes, that was
That's where I
when
met
we
Jamie.
first hung out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember we shared the Orff house.
We shared the ORF house. We love a good
Yeah.
ORF house.
That's also what made our San Diego crew very unique. We had an ORF house. It was a very unique, special time. Sorry, I cut someone off. Was that you, Crystal?
Nope, not me.
Oh, okay. My bad. So Sasha, so you've been like every 3 years, right? You attend like that's kind of like your flow cycle.
It's my flow cycle.
Like, what is it that you intended to get out of conference? What was your hopes to get out of conference coming?
Well, I know that a lot of us feel like we live on little islands within our schools, even if we have teams. So, I have a team of 11 other elementary music teachers in my district, but just being able to have like an intensive of 4-ish days with like all of my people was really, really nice. It's like going into town and like getting all your supplies and like stocking up for the winter and then going back to your like rural mountain place where you live. That's how it felt a little bit for me.
I'm tempted. No, I'll save that next question. I really want to hear what you got, but I think I'll save it for the next question. But Jamie, you are, this is your fourth, fifth?
I don't know. I don't know my animal. I don't know what year. When you get to know me, I'm terrible at remembering dates, years, how many times I've been somewhere. I'm guessing 6. No.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it.
No, I think this is my 5th. I don't know. 5th or 6th one.
Charleston was your first?
San Diego, many years ago.
Oh,
see, I don't remember what year it was.
That was
It was in
2015.
San Diego.
Yeah, I was at that as a student. So I guess technically that was my 4th. But as a student, I didn't know anything. So that's so cool. I wonder if we I want to see a picture of you and there's like me in the background like Sasquatch.
Ooh, that would be cool. I'll have to look back at those pictures. But that was my first. And then my second one was way later, and like after pandemic, basically when things opened
Charleston,
up.
when you made fun of my spice.
That's when we first met in person.
Yes.
Yes.
So each time I feel like, so now we're getting to the people who've been there multiple, like longer, been there many times. Like, what's something now that's been like 5 times? Like, what's something that brings you back to conference?
It's basically, well, I think in the beginning it was more about the professional development, you know, because like first time was like, what is ORF? I was still new to it in San Diego, and I was like, whoa, this is what ORF can be, and then that's what inspired me to take my levels. And then the second time after pandemic, I think it was also for inspiration to like get back into ORF work and to see what's out there. And I always think that I'm like a lifelong educator and student, basically. So, but now it's more like an annual reunion to like see friends and see people that I usually don't see, like from all around the world or around the United States. So it's a recharge in both the professional sense and also the social emotional sense.
Yeah, I love
Other than this time, I kind of had to be there.
You had to be. Oh, yes. We'll say that for our next one.
I wonder why you had to be there.
I wonder why. If you've listened to our episodes, you know what's up. You know what's gonna be talking about. But cool. For myself, I guess like I think similar. It used to be like professional development. I like what you said earlier, Jamie. Like the whole element of like being a lifelong learner. It's something I always tell my students that even though I'm an adult, I still learn. I actively choose to learn because we are constantly growing people. And even though we've been around the ORF conference wheelhouse
more than a handful of times, yeah,
it's still something that I like to see how like I'm at now at the point where like I'm not like I am still learning different ideas, but I'm also now learning how to dissect how other people teach. So less of the content, more of the art of delivering content. So that was a fascinating element. But as you all mentioned, it was great being with just wonderful people and seeing all your faces, people in here and also people that we talked to on Chaotic Harmony. But yeah, this was my 6th time, I want to say. But Crystal, this is your 8th, right?
Yeah. It's a lot of times. If we count 2020, do we count 2020? Okay, yes. Then it was my 8th. Yeah.
Yeah. What's something that you wanted to get out of it coming in?
I just needed to reconnect with people. As we've kind of been over on the pod, it's been a big year of change for me, and I needed to change, and I needed my friends, and I needed to just kind of bask in the 5-day group hug that is conference. It was good.
Big group hug, yes. But actually, I'm gonna stick with you, Crystal, because you weren't there just to hug people. You weren't there just to learn. You were also there for a special reason. You and Jamie were there for a special reason, kind of.
We kind of had to be there.
Kind of had to be there. Both of you two presented. So, do you mind sharing? I'll start with you, Crystal. What did you present on? What was it on?
So I've been doing some research for the last couple of years on a neuroscience and ORF Schulwerk link. I kind of went down a weird rabbit hole a few years ago when all of our school counselors and social workers were coming in with a new certification called the neurosequential model of counseling. But there's a neurosequential model of education, and it's just like you teach in a way that calms the amygdala and then moves the kid up into their midbrain and then finally ends in a place where they could reason or create. And we had fun, and you guys were amazing because I was super nervous, and you just took care of me. And like Marc brought me a sandwich so that I would be able to eat something after. And it was like anytime I got a little stuck or had an ADHD glitch, I just like made eye contact with one of you, and we were back on track. And I appreciated it. It was a big session. There were 164 people signed up for it.
That's so many.
And I did not expect that. It's a lot of humans.
And we know how ORF conference works. That's just how many people signed up.
Yeah.
Sure more people
who crashed, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. It was a big ballroom, and it was full. And it was great. It sparked a lot of great conversations.
How would you say it's different? So for someone who has never presented at conference, how would you say that's different than, say, presenting for an ORF chapter or somewhere else.
I've presented now for so many ORF chapters or for districts or for, small groups that presenting no longer makes me very nervous. I'm excited now before I give a workshop. But this definitely felt different. This felt really high stakes because it's all of the people that I respect the most in ORF work all over the country. And I just wanted to bring my very best to my community. And
you did. Crushed it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Here.
Thank you. It felt good.
Like I've
good.
obviously been following you for a while as a fan.
You have?
Wow.
But it's really cool to see you present, Crystal. Like again, you presented at our chapter like a month beforehand, but
Yes.
it's to see that in action and seeing you affect and influence 100+ people was really cool. And like to see, I feel like this was like the what's the phrase, the creme de la crop, I don't know,
The cream of the crop.
cream of the crop, yeah. And like this was it was a really polished and great and flowed perfectly. And it was really cool to see a lot of people who just, because I feel like when you're in your California bubble, like you say, oh yeah, the talking about this stuff is of course, but a lot of people don't talk about how the brain works, and it's great to see that.
It was really cool to see it, like, having known you for a while and seeing you present on a lot of different things, just like the progression into your workshop was really, really cool to, like, having known you and all of that. It was really, really fun.
Thank you. I think the conversations that meant the most afterwards were several that went along the lines of, I walked into this conference not knowing how I was going to go back and deal with all these crazy things that are happening in my classroom that I've never had to deal with before, and now I feel like I have a tool that I can try. So that's the most important thing. It's so cool to go to a conference and to meet amazing people and see kids on stage doing incredible things. And I know we're going to talk about the kid performances later, but for me, those first couple of years I went to conference, it was so intimidating in some ways to sit in on these sessions and just think, like, I can't do any of this. My kids are not there. Yeah. And I just wanted to give something to, our community that we're struggling in, this new wave. The kids are different than they used to be.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't
Jamie,
the only one who presented.
No, she
Jamie.
was not. Jamie presented as well. What was you presented on day 2? Is that correct?
Yes, Friday.
Yes. So what did you present on?
The title was South Korean Songs and Games. And so, as a Korean American, I presented some stuff that I either grew up with or I researched. And I unlike Crystal, I haven't presented as often as she has. So Genesis and Jasmine can attest to this.
That's why he presents a lot.
I don't have years of experience presenting.
Yes, you do.
Okay, it's whatever the case is. This always happens since high school when I was performing recitals and college for recitals. I'm fine all the way, the whole week, all the way up until the day of the hour before, and then I'm like, help me. That was no different.
Your slides again?
Well, to be fair, the first time it was just not working because of the QR code situation. I had to redo it because Canva was more allowable for that. I mean, I didn't change it too much, but I did change it a few bits right before the night before, and I had a hard time sleeping. But anyway, I felt like the pressure was high for similar reasons. A lot of people I know and respect were there, and all of you were there. Like, yes, you were great as supporters, but also I'm like, oh my God, the pressure is high. But I mean, I had a great time. Yeah, it was. But like, my teachers were there, my mentors were there. But I had a good time, and I heard a lot of good things afterward, and I feel good about it. Basically, is the end result of all of that. I just felt really glad to see how many people, how many friends there came to support. For a lot of people came up to me and was like, Jamie, your session is full. I couldn't sign up. Can I still get in? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure we can sneak you in.
Yeah, they're not checking.
Yeah.
No, nobody checks. I mean, people do check, just make sure.
Yes, yes.
So unlike Crystal, I haven't seen you present before, Jamie. And
I have a lot.
I mean, actually, we talked about that like 20 episodes ago when you presented Casmic, but I never had that pleasure. And to see you teach was phenomenal. It was great. Like you have, I remember Genesis you mentioned in the Casmic episode. Jamie has a way of demanding attention, but not like not in a like authoritarian approach.
But you want to join in, right?
Yeah.
She has you leaning in.
Yeah.
And I think the element of like it was just fluid. It was just fluid, constant, boom, boom. And yeah, except for the parts where you called me out. You know,
yeah.
Just saying.
You're supposed to say your name
great.
first, John. Your name first, and then someone else's name. That's how the game works.
Yeah, well, I get that goofed also. But
You have to be a graceful bird. Graceful bird.
Hey. I'm just saying, I was following someone else. I was asked to imitate, and lo and behold, it's called out.
You picked the wrong person to imitate.
But seriously, Jamie, it was amazing. I really loved it, and I can't wait for you to come to San Diego because I know a lot of people are going to benefit from that. I want to ask.
That'll be great.
Before I ask my follow-up for Jamie, I don't want to steal the thunder. If anyone else wants to give praise to Jamie.
Both your sessions were real good. I was a big fan of both of them, and I got to blow bubbles and crystals, which was super fun.
You were an excellent bubble blower.
It was really, really fun. It's really fun to see people that you admire, and then it's even better when they're people that are your friends. There's just like an extra special layer of admiration and like, that's my friend over there, you know. Both were incredible and restorative.
Yes, very much. Yeah. I forgot. I think we all mentioned like the element of like rejuvenation from these, like crystals, crystal, plural crystal, singular crystal. It was, again, I've seen you present. I love your ethos, but to hear it again was definitely a needed refill for sure. Of like, hey, don't forget how we treat our students, how we treat our learners. And I also love that both you and Jamie brought in your friends to help present. It wasn't just the person up front telling you what to do or what to learn. It was like you brought in your friends. And like, I think, I honestly, if anyone else is listening to this and wants to present, steal from Jamie, steal from Crystal, have your friends help you out. It was like really cool to see that.
I mean, it's that idea that we are a community, so showcase it.
Ensemble.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Also,
it helps that we're such fun people in the first place.
True.
It wouldn't have worked unless you were willing to go with it.
Yes,
Mr. Not Graceful Bird.
But it also doesn't hurt that you are the one who brings the fun. So, yeah. And speaking of the one who brings the fun, Jamie, what would you say, in a nutshell, how does it differ? How did this one differ from your time in Casmic or other times?
Well, I feel like Casmic has a different vibe than the ORF conference does, for sure. Casmic, the California All-State Music Educators Conference, for those of you who don't know, it involves all the elementary, middle school, high school, choir, orchestra, band, all the sorts of different types of ensembles. And I've been going to Casmic for quite a while, I think more than AOSA's conference. And it's a different vibe because of the different teaching styles and the different focuses and different pathways that you go in music. And they also have like a technology aspect as well. They have sessions about that too, or about repairing instruments and things. It's there. I can see that a lot of those sessions are more lecture based. not as much like take off your shoes and let's get like moving into a bird.
But I guess I was more asking, like, from your perspective as a presenter, since you presented before, like, did you feel like the vibe was different?
Yeah, and I think the reason why I mentioned that Casmic aspect versus ORF conference aspect is that there are people who are willing to play and people who are not. And so at Casmic, there are definitely people willing to play. Like I think it was, I was part of a series of different ORF presenters who came that year for Casmic. So it wasn't difficult to find people who could play. But then there are people who just had no idea what could be, or had no idea how like creative and freeing that ORF work really could be in that setting. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people who are thinking kind of the same thing that Crystal mentioned earlier. There's no way I can do this with kids. Well, how can I do this with my kids? But at the same time, that's part of the important part of getting to know the artful way of teaching that you were talking about, John. Like, as someone who keeps coming to these, how do you break it down into the scope and sequence so that you can apply it to your own kids? And as a presenter going to the ORF conference, I was really trying to sequence that, plan that out, versus how I presented at Casmic and how I presented at this session. I was really trying to plan it out that way so that I'm wondering if teachers can see this is what you could do on this day, this is what you could do on the next day, this is how to break it down elementally. And that was my process as a presenter this time.
I love how you're intentional about that. Sorry, Crystal.
And I have to tell you, Jamie, that when I was out to dinner the next night, somebody that I was sitting at a table with told me that yours was their favorite session of the conference because your process was so beautiful, because you broke it down like that. So well done, friend.
It worked.
It worked.
It was great. And so it's Crystal, jumping to you. There's someone presenting at conference. What advice would you give Genesis when he eventually presents it at conference?
Yeah.
I feel like I had to think through and practice it more than any other presentation I've ever given, because this community does professional development as like a sport. You know what I mean? Like,
ain't that
the ORF crowd. The ORF crowd, like they find the best of the best professional development. They are committed to their craft. They're committed to growing as musicians, connecting as humans, and you have to go deep. And you've got to break it down. They want the intellectual, cerebral side. They want the deep emotional side. They want the sound researched pedagogical side. And I think that's why I was freaking out a little bit. And also, like Jamie did, I went through every single section and just dissected it. And I know like how overwhelmed you are when you're going to, I don't even try to go to all the sessions anymore because my brain, like Jasmine said earlier, just went smooth. If you try to do that, it's too much.
It's a lot.
So so here's what I would really say. Pick the top 3 things you want someone to remember from your session and then figure out how to make it memorable. So I had my little mnemonic device that I use that I made everybody do a couple times. We connect through regulate through breathing, connect through ensemble, create through play in ORF work. So like, what's your thing, and then say it over and over again.
Have them remember it. Yeah.
Have them remember it. Yeah.
Love it.
Like Carl Orff said, involve me, I understand.
Jamie, your advice to Jasmine when she presents next year?
Oh, I've been trying to convince her to do this so many times. I feel like Jasmine's already on her way to presenting things, because at our last chapter share, she was going to present something about mahjong.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she even made a song about it. But I mean, both of us were kind of sick, so maybe next time. I feel like some advice just from my own personal experience for the general population. Jasmine's heard me say this, but like practice with your chapter share and just something that's fun, that inspires you, that you feel like can be something really fun for you and ends up being fun for your kids. And I'm sure that like just you being a music educator can seep into how do I process this into something that I can teach to the kids, but still make it not fun in the sense that it's play and the play of like the children's way of learning, because that goes into the whole like neuro research that we end up not like thinking about. What you're passionate about will feed into the passion into the kids, and when you do that for yourself, it'll feed into what you present to other colleagues.
I like that. Crystal and I have talked about this several times whenever we do our orphan review. Like, there are so many sessions where it is just lecture sometimes. And like, I know direct instruction is the quickest way to get information across. But the reason why yours was amazing, Jamie, is because, yes, it was engaging. And if we want our kids to learn in an engaging way, we have to also present to our fellow colleagues in an engaging way. Same thing with you, Crystal. I love the bubble touch. The bubble touch was like great. Like, did that exactly like add more knowledge? Not necessarily, but it definitely stuck. Made the ideas stick much more. Yeah.
Also, Michelle Chan's book sold out at all 3 places that brought it, so I'm super proud of that.
Nice.
Yeah. Selling that bubble book, baby.
Dude, I went a little late into the shop and I did not see it, and I was happy to not see it. That's for sure.
Good thing you know a person. You know where to get them.
Well, let's zoom out a bit. I want to be conscientious of everyone's time. So I want everyone to think back 1 week ago. What is one session, other than Jamie's and Crystal's, because they were phenomenal, but what's another session that really spoke to you?
I can chime in on this one.
Go for it, Genesis.
The one that I had a big attachment to was Tom Pierre's session. Shout out Tom Pierre if you are listening to me, or anyone that knows him, make sure he hears this. For me, I've seen him present before at CASMIC, and always get reminded when I watch him present and bring things is not just the joy of teaching and the theory of teaching, but the sense that not only does he insert his style and who he is as a person into his lessons and presenting, but he keeps in mind his students. And it's so forward in that, where he brings in the music of what his students are learning, but he also brings in his, and he brings in connections with that. And then he finds some way to make a beautiful thread come out, and you experience something super magical, all because it is him being unapologetically himself.
Yeah.
And I find that so amazing, where there are some times where we put on the persona of being the teacher. And I mean, that's very innate in me as a person. I mean, I go into my classrooms, I'm fine, I put on that persona of being my teacher, but it's my persona as a teacher. With Tom, everything I see from him is so unabashedly him and so unfiltered.
I have only sorry, did I cut you off?
Go ahead.
I know, I love that about I've never seen a session of Tom's, but whenever I've interact with him, it's something I really admire. Like what you just said, he is unabashedly himself. There is no, you talk with some people, it's like, oh, okay, like they're putting up a front because they don't know you or X, Y, and Z. But I love that he is unabashedly himself, and that's really cool to see that in a presentation.
His session, my first conference that I went to 8 years ago, no, 8, whatever it was, doesn't matter, was the only session that I walked away from where I used absolutely everything. I had his session notes like printed out and in my binder and would refer. It's such a good balance when he presents of like practical and sound.
Awesome. So anyone else want to jump in, something that spoke to them?
It was really nice to see Dave Thaxton four of us did our levels with Dave, and
Orf Dad.
He was, you know, for all of us, the introduction to what this is, for us. Like, that was our first, like, peek behind the curtain of that music making can be fun and enjoyable, and that if you are not enjoying it, are your students going to enjoy it? And just being in his session and the lights are low and his voice is calm and his shoes are off and there's, you know, oh my gosh, what are they? Ribbons and lights and plates and just the feeling of, you're like, this is home. That's kind of how I felt. Like, I'm brought back to level 1. I like that joy of discovering something for the very first time and like, wow, this is a life-changing moment. I kind of re-felt that with his session, and it was really nice.
I don't think I've seen anyone bring as many non-instruments to a session than Dave Thaxton and his yellow suitcase. Like, yeah, I
continue. Sorry.
No, well,
I was gonna say, like, but that is such the process, right? Like, not everybody has access to instruments, but what might you have access to? Like, it's okay if your process does not involve things that are traditional. Yeah.
I think he's a good example of finding something that you're passionate about and sharing that with the kids. David is such a good example of that. He's finding the Ticonderoga pencil and makes it so interesting to the kids and into a music lesson.
I still sing that song.
We invited him to present for us in Sacramento, and he just showed all these little, like, odds and ends things that could possibly be our, like, spiccatos.
And that's where we got the idea for spiccato.
Oh, you did?
I totally.
Nice. That's it. Yeah. But he's such a good example of finding something that you wouldn't find interesting, and then he makes it interesting, and because he finds it interesting, and then you transform that passion to your kids. That's what I like about David.
I remember I was running around taking pictures for social media subcommittee. And so I had to run around to all the other ones, but I was like, I have to go see David. And so I like run into his room late. Mark was with me. And then at the moment we walk in, like, this group of people just goes by giggling, like swinging lights around. And it's just like chaos in the best, most beautiful way, like with laughter, but also beautiful music and lights. And it was amazing.
And the Shruti box.
Oh yeah,
you need that. That drone, man. That's the best. I was gonna say Dave's session as well, mainly because he's Orf Dad, and I thought I wasn't gonna be able to see it, and so glad I was able to. But I think in addition to all of the things that we said, the level of musical excellence that is able to be accomplished by the building blocks that he provides is second to none. Like, we sang a piece. And, you know, in theory, it's not a super complicated piece. However, the way that it was presented, the way that we did it, it just brought me to tears. Like, it was just one of those things, like, I get to be a part of this in this moment. And it's such a beautiful thing. And he does such an incredible job of building the brick by brick, but not having too much control over what that final thing's going to be. And it's just the absolute best.
I don't remember who said it, but someone mentioned when you hear a Dave Thaxton round, you know it's Dave.
Yeah, like, it's very him.
It's very him. And I think what it is his attachment to naturalism, which I love. There's this organic approach of how he writes. I've listened to a lot of great Orff teachers create music and compose music, and it's good stuff. Don't get me wrong. But the way he is connected to this pull and push is so beautiful. And maybe I'm biased. I could be biased because, I'm Orff Dad, But I was just walking in and like listening to his rounds, or just, it's very moving to the point where. So I mentioned this early on. I was a music composition major. I've not done much writing music since I'm in the middle of the throes of teaching, but it's definitely inspired me. Like I want to do this. You know, I want to do this because if my Orf dad can do it, like, man, I want to make.
And you could
music
present at
too.
conference too.
Yep, you're next.
Hey.
Yeah. We're just gonna pass the baton around.
Pass the baton.
Let's
But
go.
but yeah, I just loved Dave's session, and I'll give a shout out to someone else as well. But since we're on Dave's, like, as Sasha, I love that you mentioned, like, Orff does not need to be instruments. Orff is not the xylophones. It's what you make of it.
Seriously.
It is open, and I love that Dave pushes that. Not pushes that. He presents that. He represents that. And I remember the last thing he did in a session was he had us sing in a very like Jacob Collier approach of all of us, singing together in a chorus, and like all of us watching him give cues, but it was us making the music together. And as his Orff son, I remember learning the early version of that was about the owl, and for him to then, I was telling Mark, maybe Sasha, like this was what he taught us in Orff Level 1 was like the prototype to this fully realized thing at Kentucky. Like this was his piece was what he did was it like about light? I think about prism, like that we are the light, and it was like very like. It was you take the simple idea that he had back in 2017, and then he's made us into something way more fully fleshed, to where it's a beautiful piece about who we are, that we are a light to shine on other people. And it's, I don't know, I could just fangirl over Dave Thaxton like for 9 hours. But so good. Oh gosh. Or what do you want to see, like in one sentence, 3 sentences? What do you want to see from conference going on forward?
I think that's a big one for me right now. I think one of the things I would love to see happen at conference in the future, we were able to watch some of it was a big group, but there was a moment that we were able to watch Doug Goodkin work with students and see his process in action with kiddos. I think we need more of that, to remind ourselves as Orff teachers that although we as adults in this approach are extremely playful, super and can be intellectualized, we need to be reminded that this approach really is for our kids, and to see what that looks like too, with how that actually works, right? Because as we mentioned before, there's a lot of people who go, I don't know if my kids can do this. Well, here's proof. They may not your demographic, right? With all the intricacies that go along with that. But ultimately, it is proof it can be done. And so if you can see that it can be done, then let's find a way to now tier it to your kids. Let's, as a community now, talk about how we can make sure it reaches to the various corners of our country, to the various villages that we aspire to be a part of. And I don't think it should be the, lack of a better term, the brand name presenters. I think we should invite people who are courageous enough to say, here's how I do this with students. I think that's one thing that I would love to see more of.
Love that, Genesis. I wish it was in 1 to 3 sentences, but I'll accept that.
Yeah. I like to grandstand, okay? Soon.
No. Then we'll see here from my lawyers.
Sue you.
But I know you got a heart out, Genesis, so thank you for your thoughts, my dude.
Thank you.
Jasmine, how about you? What was something you loved about, what was something that spoke to you at the conference?
I guess it was very similar in Genesis, seeing Doug teach children. Because even like when I was in level 3, I was like, how could I get this? Like some of these songs, or how do I teach? And I know I was talking with my mentee Dane on this, where like, that group of children wasn't the demographic I usually teach. And I know that like my children, I described it like, for them to access play, I have to like unknot a lot of what's going on at home. So it's like a big knot, and I'm slowly untangling each child so that they can be that squiggle that can be essentially anything. And And those children were already squiggles ready to go. And some of them had like little fairy knots because you can see it like while Doug was playing with them. But the play that he had with them, like they were drawn in. And I was like, oh, how do I do that? Like, how do I get them there? And I could already feel it in my brain, like slowly like scaffolding all of his actions of like, oh, I could try this and I could introduce this here and I can introduce this here. And I might get like a roadblock here, but if I scaffold it like this, maybe it'll be more of a speed bump than a block. So it was very interesting to see Doug teach again, except teach children instead of adults, because I've only experienced Doug teaching adults. And I know some people have seen him teach children, and I'm like, I've never had that experience, so I never really thought like how he would interact with kids. It was always like, okay, I've only seen him in levels, so that was all adults in that instance. So how do I take everything he taught me and put it in there? And I could see that it's possible, it's there, especially with the children in the room. And I had a second one. It was Rodi's. It was so fun. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I loved it, especially because like a lot of the music was familiar to me. So I was like, I love Bomba y Plena, but I've been taking classes as well, so it was like good to see those moves being used. And then now I'm trying to get Jamie to come with me.
Yeah.
And Teresa and Genesis. But it was just such like a familiar, that's the word, familiar.
And for people who don't know, because you're both Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was very familiar for me.
And I think I remember my first session, Salt Lake, similar situation. I went to Tiffany Berry, did not know who she was, but because of that familiarity, I shared this back years ago. Like when I went to a session, I was just sitting down, smile across my face because I recognized those songs. Those are the songs my mom sang to me growing up. And people say repetition doesn't matter. It's like, this is it. I was connected because of the things that I was taught as a child, as like being on display at a really important event. And I don't mean to steal your thunder, Jasmine. I just I resonate with that. Yeah. So I'm glad that you had that.
It hits a deeper part of you when it's part of something that you grew up with.
Yes. 100%. And it makes also your learning more, it makes the process even more valuable to the kids you teach. This is going to be, as you could probably imagine, the AOSA in review is always a long one. So we'll share more after the break.
Hey, we just want to take a quick moment to shout out Mission Trails Financial, the partner making this show possible at no cost to you. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by financial planning, you're not alone. But Mission Trails Financial is here to make things simpler. They offer tailored financial advice for you, from investments to tax and insurance planning, with a team of experienced fee-based advisors who are CFP designated and fiduciaries. That means they're putting your best interests first. Let's face it, navigating the world of finances can feel like drinking from a fire hose, with endless options for investments just a mouse click away. But Mission Trails Financial aims to cut through the noise by breaking things down into clear, actionable steps while providing regular updates. Mission Trails Financial believes everyone has the right to work with a financial advisor, regardless of how much you've saved. Mission Trails Financial's focus is building a relationship so you are not traveling your financial path alone. They even help you keep track of old 401ks when you're transitioning between jobs, because your financial future should always stay on track, no matter what changes. So don't wait. Let Mission Trails Financial show you how to make that next step towards the future you've worked hard for. Plus, your first consultation is absolutely free. Just visit missiontrailsfinancial.com or call 619-419-0238 today. You'll be glad you did, because leaning on professionals like Mission Trails Financial is how we get ahead. Check out the program notes for more details. Advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors LLC, a registered investment advisor.
And we are back. Unfortunately, we lost Crystal. This is a very, a lot's going on today, but it was great to hear from Genesis and Crystal. But we do have us five. So, but speaking of five, thank you all so much for being a part of this 5+ year journey.
Nailed it.
crushed it. Whether you joined us from the very beginning or you're joining us new today, thank you. It means a lot for you to join us. And if you want this journey to continue, please support the things you love, whether it's us or anything that you care about. It's a good mantra in general. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/chclassroom, where you can get special merch and also other things for the class. We are also revamping it, and we should be announcing it next week when we do our final episode of the calendar year during our winter wrap-up. So listen for that. But if you don't have a coin to toss our way, that's okay. Feel free to leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You know the drill. 5 stars only. Whoever did that 1 star, I will find you.
It was me.
It was you. Okay. Anywho.
Kidding.
And honestly, we say this every week. Please make sure if you on Apple Podcasts to leave us a review, a written review. It does help a lot. So if you can spend the time to write one out, that'd be great. Beyond that,
say only good things.
Say nice things, please.
Yes, please.
We have
Sasha.
feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, you can follow us on YouTube and the socials. Leave this episode a like, as Jamie mentioned. Leave a nice comment. Bruh, I've seen some comments. And all these things, small things, ensure that these lights and mics stay on. We do not have spiccato because this is a big episode, so we want to just jump into the next bit. Student performance, something that I know I personally value a lot, is the student performance. As Jasmine, you were mentioning earlier, seeing Doug interact with students is great, but also having students perform is beautiful. I love it whenever we have it in the beginning of conference. So what were your thoughts on the performance this year?
It was crowded.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, like, the performance was in the hallway. The one that was by, like, the on the way to everybody. That's the one I'm talking about. There were a couple performances. But this one, there's this one where it was in the hallway with windows, and it was crowded. It was hard to see the kids. But that's a good sign. But it was also beautiful.
Have those multiple performances? Because I only remember, like, the big main one. But you're right. There was, like, other featured ones, like, in the hallways and such. Do they often have that?
Mm-hmm.
I thought they usually had them earlier, because usually they're in like a ballroom or in a performance setting. I didn't usually remember seeing them in the hallways, but I know that was on the last day. So then like they're changing the ballroom for the banquet and all the rooms are being used. So that's why I thought they got moved over there.
Gotcha.
I love seeing kids make music in a fun and creative way. It's just such a great reminder of like what's possible. And I know a lot, we talk about like, oh, I don't know if my kids can do it, but this year it was, for me, I was like, I feel like I could do something like this. And it's always a good reminder for me, because I feel like the world that I live in often, my partner is a high school music director. And so he is always in ensemble music making and that conservatory approach most of the time. So when I'm interacting with him and his colleagues, I'm in that like mindset, and then seeing student performances like that, I'm like, that's right. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be serious. It can be incredible, but the kids are having fun. And I think that's what I love most about it, is that when you see an ensemble sit down, a lot of the time they're in black. It's very quiet. You don't clap between movements. You can't cheer. Like, you can, but I love the like parents rooting for their kids like it is the like championship game. And for all the marbles and these dads standing up and just like cheering on their students. It's really, really cool to see like the way that the community comes together for small humans. It's amazing. I love it.
There was one moment, I think, Sasha, you and I talked about it. There was this girl, she wasn't playing bass bars. I don't know what they were exactly. They're like these tubes.
It looked like a bass marimba when I got up close, like where it's just the big low notes, but I think they were wood keys with just like big resonators.
Was it the little girl with glasses?
Yeah, she was awesome.
Oh, she got it.
I think so. Dude, it was so.
Awesome.
Everyone's nodding. Yes, it was awesome.
Yeah, she was incredible.
She was hammering it, but there was a moment where she got a little bit off, and
like
then she
for
looked
one
at the director
beat.
for one beat. But then she looked at the director and jumped right back in. It was like,
Nice.
yes, that's what we're looking for.
Yes. And it was just like there's trust there. She knows what the steady beat is. She was feeling it. Who knows what happened? I mean, I can't, as a percussionist, I can say there's like times where you're playing the same thing over and over and you're like, oh no, what part of the song are we at? My bad. I relate. Sorry, all of the people I've ever played with. But yeah, you're so right. I love her. She should be a music teacher, and if you are listening to this by some random chance, you are the MVP of ORF conference.
Award goes to you, girl in glasses.
And also, I was gonna say, if you know what instrument that is, please let us know.
Yeah, please do.
Sorry, as a percussionist, I didn't get a great look at it.
I mean, there's so many different percussion instruments. Even a percussionist can't know every single one.
I also love like each time, like after the kids perform, there is this glow from every single child that they did it. I remember at the end, like you saw like 4 kids like doing backflips, just like cheering like each other, and then one kid in green. Just for some weird reason, he was like, maybe he made one mistake, but he was just had his arms crossed. Like, oh man, you did it! You did it. Okay.
It was funny. He was trying. They were like all the other kids were trying to like hype him up. They're like, yeah. I just no.
Do you remember the
He
Michaela
shook his
Maroney
head. I was like,
what?
Oh my
the Michaela Maroney meme back in like 20?
Yeah.
I know this.
It was from the Olympics.
Yeah, she was supposed to. She was projected to get gold and made one minor mistake, and it cost her, and she got silver, and that was kind of her posture. And it's a fantastic.
Oh.
I also feel like not every kid celebrates outwardly. We don't know if he was like, maybe the attention was too much. He was overwhelmed. I feel like I cannot take a compliment to save my life, so maybe that's that kid, and we just saw it in real life.
Sure.
But also, if he's just, who knows? I know for me, I come to conference for the connections, for the like filling up my cup a little bit. And I really love that about just connecting with people. A lot of, for me, is like I see people digitally. And so connecting in real life is so nice. It's definitely like such a positive reminder that, I have a community who has my back, who surrounds me, who I could call up and ask at any time out of the blue, hey, I have this thing going on, personal or professionally, and I know I have people who will support me with that. I know for conference, something that and again, I'm going to say I'm not sure if this exists because I am not 100% sure about how the structures of everything work. I know there's like things I know better than others, but when we're doing land acknowledgements and we're talking about the indigenous lands that we're on, that's wonderful. We do need to acknowledge all of that. But I guess for me, I'm wondering, did ASOA, did I say it right? AOSA. No, I didn't. Listen, I'm a lifelong dyslexic here. Yeah. I'm doing my best. But, if we're making those land acknowledgements, what are we doing to support our indigenous teachers, our indigenous members who are coming to this? Are we sponsoring local indigenous teachers to come to conference for free so that they can see this? If we're acknowledging that land, those are things that I would love to see more of, and not just at national conference, but across the board. Just, if we are going to be saying these things, what are we doing to back them up with more than just words? But we do have a growing number of indigenous teachers that I see, and, let's lift up their voices. If we're going to use them kind of as a blanket, let's feel better about this land acknowledgement. Again, maybe I need to educate myself in what our organization is doing, and I will take full responsibility of not knowing. Maybe we already do all of those things, but that would be something I would love to kind of see and support. At me if I'm wrong, and send, I will do what I need to do to help support that.
I think adding on to what you said, Sasha, I think, because I know there's just so much that this is a volunteer organization for most of it, and so there's a lot of work that's done and behind the scenes, and sometimes it's just it just when you do have a long checklist of things to do, you forget to tell everyone that you're doing this checklist, or it feels a little weird. But I agree, if it is happening, let people know. It's cool stuff.
Because we should be proud of that work of we want to be uplifting these teachers who have traditionally been not heard or seen. Anyone else? Jasmine.
Mark, your turn. You go.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Go.
Okay. I do hope at some point AOSA is in the West Coast.
Yeah.
Yes,
come on, we're over here.
Too many layovers.
So just that the reason they try to make sure that they choose a place that has no more than 2 for every area of the country except for Alaska and Hawaii. So
I get it. Thank you for doing that. San Diego is apparently like the gateway to some parts of the country and not to the other. Like, I'm sorry we don't like the Midwest. It was really hard to get to Kentucky from San Diego.
It took 16 hours for me to get to Lexington.
It took about that long for me and Rod Nolan to get there as well.
Every conference should be in Indianapolis. Look it up. There's a reason we have so many conferences here in the city, because it's central, so hey,
is it central or is it Midwest?
You got Lucas
central.
Oil.
What's central?
Well,
Central-ish.
to my knowledge, with AOSA though, it was supposed to be West, Central, East, Central, West, and it was West's turn, but then they said Kentucky is the Midwest.
Wait. West Central. What was it before?
Anyway.
What was last year? What was last year?
Last year was Iowa.
Oh.
So that's Central.
That's also the Midwest.
I wonder if COVID played a role, because I know that did, but maybe not this one. I don't know. But yeah,
COVID. I know
in
2020 was supposed to be in
Casey. You're right.
Casey.
You're right. Never mind.
It's okay. We don't need to restructure it. We have suggestions. We do not have solutions.
Every year in Indy, that's
Fresno.
Oh, Fresno. We love Fresno. Clovis?
No.
Bakersfield.
Fresno.
No.
Let's go to Sacktown.
Okay, so
Bakersfield. Fresno, but Fresno.
Bakersfield, Arcata.
As someone who grew up 45 minutes from Bakersfield, no disrespect, but Bakersfield, you are trash. I like the people there, but when you are driving down the mountain and you see the smog that has just rolled in from the grapevine from LA, just sitting there, and you're like, I'm going to go breathe that. That's fantastic. Like, Bakersfield has days where they're like, hey, air quality's so bad, don't go outside. Like, let's not do Bakersfield. And then if you're listening from Bakersfield, I'm from Tehachapi. I love you. But just Bakersfield itself is terrible.
But
Seattle.
Even if not California, Seattle. I'm like
Phoenix.
Reno, Nevada, Arizona, West.
We can drive to Reno.
I was like, we could drive to Reno. We could drive to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
San Diego.
Tijuana.
San Diego.
Hear me out.
I don't know.
No, San Diego. We had it within memory, so we can't do it anytime soon.
I wasn't there.
Okay.
Well, anyway, that's a hope. Mark, do you have one?
I do have a hope. I would hope that there could be tracks for the session. So if you're a new teacher, highly consider doing these tracks. If you are looking for tools on SEL, try these sessions, do this. Because I think for me personally, when I see all the names, I'm like, oh, I want to see that. Oh, and I want to see that, and I want to see that. And so what is going to be most applicable to my situation? And I would love to see a 2-day mini conference for administrators, having administrators come in and participate and do the things and like have sessions geared exactly towards them and their situation, because at the end of the day, teachers can do the most incredible stuff, and if they don't have support from the administrators, like it's all for naught. You know, if you see a district that is improperly using Prop 28 funds in California, like there's it's I know
I've never heard of such a thing.
Anywho, and so like if that's gonna happen, then no matter how good of a teacher you are, like there's still going to be a challenge. And I think like if there is a track for administrators, like if it's a Friday, Saturday, or like a Friday evening into Saturday, and just like, okay, here's the sessions on how to support, and then they can see the work and they can see the stuff that's going on. And I know like there wouldn't be every administrator going, but to have that as an option to maybe help them understand and be advocates for their fellow colleagues. Like one thing that I've learned about superintendents is they love to showcase what they have. Like, ooh, check out what I have. And if you have a superintendent that's like, I have a killer music program and I love what they're doing and I got to go and like I got to have this really fun experience, the other superintendent's like, well, I want to do that. Why don't I have that? Like, why can't I like, you know, and just allowing themselves to be involved at the ground level of, I mean, ground level would be in your classrooms, but you know, involved in the organization that is attempting to provide resources, provide community, so that we can wrap them within the community.
Incredible.
That's what I got.
Solid.
Yeah, I agree. That's pretty important. My hope is that for AOSA and conference, for all of it, is they hear our voices. They hear our feedback in whatever medium that we give it, I hope they hear this podcast. I hope that we're typing our feedback and sending it to them, whether it's through their website or through email, messaging the right people, or just telling the right people. I hope that the people who organize these things and the leadership positions, they hear our voices, that we all give our feedback somehow, and that leadership listens to them, whatever it may be. And I hope to see that change for the better in the future. I like to be an optimist sometimes too.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Are you guys intending to go to Richmond next year?
Yes.
A hope.
Okay, that's
Yes,
Mark.
that's what we're hoping for.
Mark.
It's a further drive. Maybe. Maybe.
Just walk.
Like how much of a drive?
Look, I have to fly out to San Diego next year in March, and it's just like there's other things that we got going on, and it's just like, am I really going to be traveling across the country? I have a kid, I have a wife, you know. It's just, I mean, there's a high probability, yes, but I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, but did you
welcome
see?
to San Diego as well, right?
What?
They're welcome to come to San Diego as well.
Oh, they'll be. Well, Brown will be there. Gemma, I think, will be with Grandma in Arizona.
Okay.
They just need to figure things out. But hopefully we'll all have our reunion for somebody's celebration in March.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. And then also a retreat maybe in 2026. But we'll see.
Catacomb retreat.
I have some ideas.
Colorado. What?
Not. Okay.
What? What? I was kidding.
Listen,
Wait.
I love y'all, but I don't know if glamping or camping or tent camping is the way that's gonna build this podcast.
I literally grew up on Minecraft, so we just like, you know, dig a hole in some cave and just like.
We have
It
a camper
shows.
van. I'm ready.
Oh, you
I'm
have a
ready to
camper
go.
van?
Yeah.
I have my backpacking tools from when I used to backpack.
If I can't
Well,
take a shower every day, I'm not interested. So I'm just gonna put
Marcus,
that out
We
there.
have one of
Marcus-
those shower pumps. We can
Mark's
build
love
a
language
shower.
is bougie.
And luxury,
with
as long
our
as it's hot
if
water.
they want to know where it's
We
come to
can
this
boil the
location.
water.
I know this was a big episode, y'all, but I do appreciate you sharing your thoughts. But if people want to share, I can want to know if they want to reach out to you, Jamie, because they loved your session at conference.
And they're trying to book you to bring them into your chapter, which you should do.
Yep.
Well, I already booked at one, so one at a time. You can reach me at ms.fun.jun @gmail.com.
We need a jingle. Straight up.
Miss Jun brings the fun. Miss Jun brings the fun.com.
It's in the works.
Sasha, how about you? How can they reach out to you?
You can find me at Miss Stone Music on Instagram.
And no dots.
No dots. BT dubs,
Jasmine,
no dots.
how about you?
You can find me on Jasmine Rice Flour. Rice like the food, flour like the baking ingredient, not not the floral. The flora? I don't know.
The flora. The flow.
Because they're both plants, but one's processed. The process.
I love
plant.
how
the
each
process
time,
plant, not the live plant.
each time you mention this, it becomes longer and more ornate to describe this. Mark, how about you? How can they reach out to you?
You can find me on Instagram under Hey Mark, and that is HEEEY. Marc MRC. And the reason you can do that, and I'm going to explain it to you all, I led a camp this summer, and it was our arts adventure camp. And one of my strategies for classroom management was I would yell, "Hey arts adventure," and they would have to respond with, "Hey Mark." And the reason it stuck with me, and I was talking with one of my coworkers, I'm like, I said it so much during that week, like, these kids are going to be like 20 and they're going to have this thought of like, "Hey, arts adventure." And so then like a week later, I was within the practice rooms. I was checking in on one of our group classes, and I hear this little voice, "Hey, arts adventure," to me. And it was one of our campers. And so I was like, "Hey." And so it was really cute. So Hey Mark is the Instagram, HEEEY, Marc MRC.
Nice.
John, where can we find you?
Mr. Seligman, MrSeligman, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, all that fun jazz. Also, you can find us at CH Classroom, the same places. If you have thoughts on AOSA, if you have thoughts on Jamie's session, or if you have thoughts on what we should be doing Spiccato next time, let us know. And also, you can email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com. Whoo! There goes that marathon. Everyone, thank you so much for being a part of this. Until next time.
Yes, until next time. Bye.
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 And then people are realizing, oh, that's an anatomical. And then there's one heart, a second heart, and a third heart.
Is this like, Doctor Who TARDIS situation? Got two hearts going on? Like, what's going on? No.
Just let people have fun things, John.
Yeah, man.